Alright, everybody, today I want to talk about who could probably buff next. So, we have no clue how buffs work. So, we got S-Bear and S-Shark together, right? And then a week later, we got Uta and Blue Uta. Red Uta and Blue Uta. Literally like a week slash a week and a half apart. Now, I do not think that's going to be the case. I mean, that'd be cool if we got another set of buffs in like a few days from now. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think maybe early next month we can see buffs, and I'll get to why I think that in a bit. But yeah, we got S-Hawk's buff, and then boom, a week later we got the Uta's buffs. So they did say they were gonna do more irregular buffs, and yeah, I'm thinking early November we could see new buffs because let's get to it. So Yamato's birthday is November 3rd. You know what would be perfect time to buff Hybrid Yamato? I think she would work pretty well in this meta. I think she could be a good semi-counted chopper. She would definitely not, a chopper can pretty easily destroy some shield characters. So, she wouldn't be a complete counter, but she could counter Kizu with just a few tweaks. She would be a great Kizu counter. And, her frostbite will definitely make her attack so insane she can get Luffy under halfway in like one hit, and then boom, Luffy can get frostbite, and that'd be perfect. Now Yamato is the original counter to only Zoro, of course. Now Yamato is quite ahead of the timeline, whatever you want to call it. So we need Oden's buff, Green Oden Runner's buff, this Blue Luffy's buff, and then after Blue Luffy, we already got Z, so Film Red Shanks would come next. And then after Film Red Shanks, it would be, I think, Big Mom, Kaido, and Zoro, and then Yamato. So yes, Yamato is a bit ahead, but Bandai said we do not care because, S-Shark is like either 1 year old around this time or less than a year old. And his boss came out already, 2 weeks ago? So they do not care about the time anymore, at least to a certain extent. Now, S-Shark could have been a fluke. Maybe they're just like, yeah, this isn't a crazy bounty fest, we can buff him, right? But there were many options. Like, S-Bear, he's by no means bad. But imagine S-Hawk, S-Bear, and S-Shark got buffed together. Like, why did they leave S-Bear out? S-Bear, I'm pretty sure, is older than S-Shark. I think he came out first. Yeah, he did come out first. S-Bear came out, and then Sanji and whatever came out. So, yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing there or what it is, but I do think we are coming up on an EX buff. Now, depending on how many buffs happen, whatever, like I said, we have no clue how they buff characters right now. They could buff it every week, every 2 weeks. They could be buffing it like 2 weeks here, then you wait a month and you get these buffs, and then after that we're going to buff another in 2 weeks, and then 1 week, and I don't know. It's all over the place. We'll see. But, yeah, like I said, I think we're coming up on an EX buff. So, like I said, for EXs, I think Hybrid Yamato, she is, like I said, quite older, but it really doesn't matter anymore. They seem to not care. Of course, I hope Oden gets a buff, but do we really need another runner right now? Probably not. Luffy's doing just fine, and who else do we have? Dark Roger? Yeah, Dark Roger and Luffy are pretty good runners right now. So, Oden, I hate to do it to him, but he does not need a buff right now. But if he were to get a buff, right, what could they do? So, for this attack, they could, ignore damage reduction, whatever, ignore defense, whatever the trait is. This one, I believe this gives a speed boost, right? I believe it's only when you're in it. I think they should make it so it stays, like, 5-10 seconds after you get out of it. Make that stick. Increase his normals. They could go the Yamato route and give him the 1 HP trait, right? Where he literally cannot die as long as he's on a treasure. Of course, other than, Kuzan or Kizaru or whatever. But I don't think that would be efficient enough for Oden, right? That's not going to work in this meta. That would have worked in the Sabo meta. I mean, actually, no, not even the Sabo meta. When Yamato got her buff, what meta was it? It was like Green Roger. Lucci and Kamsari Shanks and S-Snake. Yeah, that was the meta she got buffed in. So they could go that route, but yeah, that's not flying in this meta. I'm already saying that. So maybe make him extremely tanky. Let him grab the flag. Let him grab the treasure when people are on it. Make him extremely tanky. He already has quite insane attack. So, you know, maybe give him a little bit more attack. Of course, his attack was insane back then. For a runner, he was a strong runner. He was but he was pretty much an attacker runner. Give him more attack, of course, to, you know, go into the meta. And, yeah, I think the route to go is literally just give him insane durability. Make him almost unkillable. Like, some 90% damage reduction or something crazy like that. Just literally make it so he cannot die. And, of course, they'd have to make it so he can't be inflicted by stats effects. That's one thing all the characters I'm going to talk about, except, like, Film Red Shanks, needs. They need to nullify stats effects, or at least have 80%, you know, cooldown to stats effects or whatever. 80% reduction. And that's what they need. Now, Oden, like I said, whatever, they just need to buff his attack, give him insane durability, and then, you know, make his normal speed increased, whatever. Hybrid Yamato, honestly, they don't need to do much for her. I'm thinking increase her normal attack speed. And so basically how she can frostbite people is if they attack her with her shield on, like multi-hits, I mean, you'll literally die. Like, who was it? Someone back then, who was it? Like Luffy? I think Blue Luffy is a good example. If Luffy attacked a hybrid Yamato with shield and held down his multi-hit skill, he would have killed himself. Like, just straight up, he would have just killed himself. Maybe make it more ways to gain shield, because I believe this is the only way she can gain shield, is if she uses skill 2. This attack is fine. Maybe increase the range. Maybe make it ignore, or not ignore. Actually, this skill definitely can have ignore obstacles. 100%. Give ignore obstacles to this skill. And that cooldown needs to go down. Holy, 44 seconds. That is crazy. Yeah, that cooldown needs to go to like 32 seconds. And what's this cooldown? 29 seconds? That's fine. I mean, they could 27. I don't know. They like doing that. They like making like a 29 second, 27. Barely a difference, but you know, difference is a difference in the end. But yeah, increase her normal speed. Make this go through obstacles. Maybe give her another way to get shield. Maybe every time she kills an enemy, she gets shield. I don't think she already does that. I could be wrong. Maybe she already does that, but I do not believe so. I believe it's literally just her skill 2 that gives her shield. So yeah, just when she kills an enemy, gets 30% of her shield back, or something like that. Or make it like Garp. When she knocks down an enemy, she gets like 1% or like 3% of her shield back, whatever Garp's is. That'd be cool too. And yeah, I think should work very well in this meta. Out of all the characters she can buff right now, I think she would be the best. Like, if they do her right, if they do her buffs right, she could be the best. I mean, for Yamato's birthday, they could technically do Yamato and Ace, right? They are over a year old. They're like, what, 2 years old now, right? Yeah. Pretty sure they're 2 years old now. So technically, yes, they are in range for a buff. Of course, I do not think they are going to get a buff. If it's Yamato's birthday, they're just going to buff normal Yamato. Hybrid Yamato, I mean. Blue Luffy, status effect, give him status effect nullification, right? Maybe make his skills, his hold skills, make him faster, so they can get done, because in this meta, if you play Luffy, you most likely will have to let go of the skill, because, you know, shield characters, you can't really hit them enough. You'll just have to do one big attack to destroy their shield in total, or they're gonna jump on you, right? Like Garp. Luffy, he has heals when he grabs flags. This guy has heals when he kills. That's good. I mean, they could even further increase his normal speed. I don't think he necessarily needs normal speed increase, but, you know, that's something they can always do. Give him ignores defense, ignores damage reduction, whatever the trait is. I always forget if it's defense or damage reduction, or honestly, there might be 2 different traits or both. But give him one of those. And yeah, this guy I think is pretty well made. For an EX, he is extremely, extremely well made in my opinion. Like, they do not need to tweak him much. They just need to make him more tanky and just more viable. Maybe give him a skill. Give him a new trait. A newer trait. Not like a new trait, but like, you know, like a current trait most of the newer EXs have. Something like that. That'd be crazy. And then let's go film Red Shanks next. So film Red Shanks. What could they do with him? First off, I would love this skill to go through walls. That is number 1. This skill needs to go through walls. And you need to increase its speed so you are faster. And I think make it so you can hold it down longer. That's what I want to happen in this skill. And yeah, decrease that cooldown. That is a lot of cooldown. I believe he actually has good skill 2 cooldown. I believe every time you kill an enemy, actually it cools down. So maybe 48 seconds isn't that crazy. Because as long as you're killing people, it's going to be a lot faster than that. Plus, run a skill 2 set or something on him. So he can get red-haired state when he perfect dodges. And if he uses this skill, he'll get red-haired hockey state. That's good. I don't think they need to give him another way to get red-haired hockey state. That is a perfect way. But yeah, honestly, just tweak this move a lot. Give him... what could they... I don't even know. Honestly, they could give him the nullify 1 HP trait, just like Kamsari Shanks if they wanted to. Add that, maybe. Make him, of course, increase his stats, make him more tanky, more attack overall, whatever they have to do. Give him more damage reduction, and I think that would be good enough for Shanks to be good. It's just mostly that skill 2. I want them to tweak that skill 2 a lot. Like I said, ignore obstacles, make it faster. Like, I'm talking about, like, the speed of running with a Dark Roger with Kamsari. Make it fast like that. And then, the cooldown, of course, tweak that too. So, Shanks, I mean, technically, Big Mom and Kaido, I would say are in range. I mean, the next character I'm going to talk about is Zoro, which came out after both of these. When is Hybrid Kaido's birthday? May 1st, okay. Of course, I'm looking at their birthdays. Just because it's their birthday doesn't mean they're going to buff. And just because it's not their birthday doesn't mean they're not going to buff, right? But, you know, I just look at that as a thing. Like, oh, Zoro's going to rerun this time, so, you know, he's going to rerun, so let's buff him, right? He's coming out anyway, so give him a buff. Now, Zoro, I think, honestly, he's the most likely out of all the EXs to get buffed. I don't think they would need to do too much. So this skill, they'd have to give him more ways. I think maybe if he gets knocked down, he can change his element, just like Oni Sanji. Because I believe the only way he can change his element currently is if someone hits him while using this skill. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the only way for him to get it at the moment. Maybe he does have the knockdown trait, but if he doesn't, give him that. Of course, needs to nullify status effects, at least 80% reduction, if not fully nullify him. This is what hurts this guy so much. His inability to nullify status effect. That's what hurts a lot of the older EXs. Like, that is such an important trait that literally every buff character needs to get. Either 80% reduction or completely nullify it. Zoro, I think, should completely nullify it since he is an EX. So, yeah. He won't get frozen anymore. He won't get whatever stunned by Luffy's Star Gun anymore. And he'd be pretty good. So, this skill, this is fine. Maybe just give him ignore defense boost, whatever, ignore defense. His hold skill, I believe, gives them a minus 20% defense boost too. Debuff. So that's fine. Like I said, honestly, the nullify status effect is the biggest thing. Get him that, give him a little more power, give him, you know, more damage or nullified defense reduction. And he will be pretty good. you can keep his dodge the same. His dodge can stay the same, right? You can just keep it as, whatever. 10% of the max HP, I believe it is. His 1 HP life can stay the same too. That is, his 1 HP is so good. I remember back in the day when Zoro came out, that 1 HP trait was so annoying. Like, you'd finally kill a Zoro after he dodged you 10 times and used his invincible skill every time he was about to fall. And then he would, boom, get back up, another life. Now, one thing I doubt they would do, but they could do, give him King of Hell state. Just tweak it a bit. The exact one Egghead Zoro has, when he is KO'd, he gets 50% of HP back. Give him that. And he does have, so when this Zoro is at King in Hell state, he can grab the treasure when the enemy is on it. Of course, Attacker Zoro does not need that. So give him something else. Maybe give him like a 50 or 100% attack boost when he's in King of Hell state. Make him like Kobe, kinda, except your team doesn't have to die. Kobe and Uta. Except your team doesn't have to die to get it. And yeah, that'd be pretty good. So that's it for Zoro. And, I mean, Hybrid Kaido, like I said, he would be a good buff. Do we really need another runner in the meta? Not really, honestly. But, Zoro, so one more character I want to talk about. Imagine Zoro got a buff, and then King got one with him. So instead of like both Utas, Zoro and King buffed together. That'd be the craziest buffs ever. Of course, I went over how Zoro could probably be good. Let's see what Bandai does say. But this King, they can make this King so absolutely broken. I know he's a runner, and I said we don't really need runners right now. Well, actually, now, yeah, we have Dark Roger and Luffy. I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's a big roster of runners we can use, but, you know, you could get away with, like, running Ballman Sanji still. Something like that. Nami. Yeah, Nami. But yeah, they could make this guy absolutely broken. They could give him the Yamato trait, make it so he can't die in the flag, of course, unless if they nullify 1 HP trait. But, actually, yeah, they could do that. Make it so he could grab the treasures. So Yamato only has grab the treasure, or nullify 1 HP trait. Imagine Red Yamato with not only she cannot die while on the treasure, of course, unless if a character nullifies it, like Kuzan or Kizu. Imagine they have that trait, but they also can grab the flag when the enemy is on it. On top of King's three dodges, whatever, the flame state, that would be absolutely crazy. I mean, you wouldn't be able to die unless, if, like I said, it was like Kuzan or something on you. But that is quite easily, I mean, he already has, whatever, type advantage. Just make him so tanky that Kuzan's not even going to get you that low. And then King can destroy Kuzan's wall pretty easily, of course, in his skill too. He can stun Kuzan outside the area. Of course, he has the 1 HP trait. Of course, Kuzan's Pheasantberg won't be very useful anymore. He'll have to get rid of your flame state before he can even knock you off. But, of course, his both skills are multi-hit. Both skills will probably take you off the flag. Which is fine, as long as he can tank, right? Yeah, this guy would have a crazy buff. That's what I want. Zoro and King to buff together. Other than King, though, for Bounty Fest-wise, I'm not really sure who they can do. Honestly, they can do anyone, right? But, another thing, you know, since we're buffing characters that aren't even a year old, what perfect time to boost or buff Light Oden, the first Light Bounty Fest, and the first Light Dark Bounty Fest. Buff Rayleigh and Oden together. Actually, that probably wouldn't be good, because I'm pretty sure Rayleigh counters Oden, because he nullifies the 1 HP trait. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be crazy. But yeah, it is crazy. Like, we could literally get Dorian Brogy's buff. We could get Dark Uza's buff. We could get, not Kobe's buff. Like, there's so many characters that we can buff. We could get Kaku's buff. We could get, Light Oden's buff. We could get Whitebeard's buff. Now, Whitebeard does need a buff pretty bad, but I I do think they are going to relatively follow the order of the EX release. Like, I know they skipped 5 EXs past Oden, but they only, like, skipped 1 EX past him. And then after that, they went in order again. I don't think they're going to do something that crazy and skip all the way to Light Whitebeard, who came out, whatever. Yeah, like I said, Yamato and Ace probably wouldn't bust, so I couldn't really see Light Whitebeard buffing either. But yeah, they opened up so many opportunities for buffs. Of course, I would love to see older characters get buffed still. Like, we can't just be buffing these newer characters only. Like, we need Jozu. Jozu, I've been asking for a Jozu buff for probably years. Literal years. Karasu, he's not crazy old, but he could get a crazy buff. I mean, Nolan, Kelgara, they are technically in range for a buff. Shiryu V1, he could have a buff. Who's Who could have a buff. We could start buffing like Ulti, Page 1, and Who's Who, the Bounty Fest, Topiropo. None of these characters are really crazy. Yeah, like I said, Page 1's buff, Ulti's buff. Jinbei already got a buff. We're gonna get a new Jinbei soon, so I highly doubt they would buff Oni Jinbei. Well, we probably will get a new Jinbei soon. I mean, this Eneru, I would love this Eneru's buff. I think he would have a pretty crazy buff, and he seems like a fun, like, look at his model. He's just a giant character. Imagine his buff is literally making him a giant character, like a Dorian Brogy character. I doubt they would do that, but Queen V1's buff, honestly, Queen V2's buff, Opbr. I mean, they could pull a Uta and buff Opbr and King together. This killer, I think, could have a pretty good buff. Marco already buffed. This guy buffed. Oni Sanji. I mean, they could do Oni Zoro and Oni Sanji's buff together. They could do that. This Sanji definitely has potential to be extremely good with a buff. I mean, General Frankie, Luffy, they could buff. I mean, there's just so many options for older characters. So hopefully we do get a mix of older and newer characters, but I mean, Zoro and King are they're 3 years old, yeah. I think they might be a little over 3 years old, which is crazy, because what are we going into? We're going into the 7th anniversary. Yeah, they're like 3 years old now, which is crazy. Of course, there's characters that are like 5 years old and whatever, but, you know, they are older characters that I would like to see buffed. But yeah, I'm not sure who you guys would want to buff, but my, like, next buff, like, if I had to choose 2 people, I'd probably pick Oni Zoro and King V1. Picking those 2, like, that would be a crazy, like, duo. Like I said, we could definitely make King work against, like, Blue Boa, Blue S-Snake, and Kuzan in certain situations. He already has insane damage. I mean, he's going to be running through Luffy's and one-shotting them pretty much, getting them to 1 HP. Kizu, I mean, Kizu's multi-hit might be a little problem, but, you know, just give him, when he's hit a certain time, he gets heals back or something. Give him, like, the Usopp and Robin and Chopper trait, where if Kizu's lasers come down, they're most likely going to heal instead of taking damage. I don't know what that trait's called, but I mean, Blackbeard and Shanks, Marineford Shanks, not saying we should buff them again, but it is definitely possible. We could get the first and second EX second round of buffs. They've already buffed, I'm pretty sure there's one character in this game, I don't remember what one it is, that buffed already 2 times. Or 3 times, sorry. There's more than one character who's buffed 2 times, and I'm pretty sure there's one character that buffed 3 times. I know Judge buffed twice. I think Magellan might have buffed twice. Ooh, Hody would be a cool buff. Magellan, I'm pretty sure, buffed twice. Sengoku, he might have buffed twice. Like, there is a lot of buffs that I didn't even know got buffed. Like, I've been asking for a Magellan buff forever, but apparently he already got a buff so long ago. Green Whitebeard, he got a buff so long ago. He definitely needs a round 2 buff, though. I mean, if we don't get Rocks Pirate Whitebeard, maybe we get like Rocks Pirate Roger and Garp in one anniversary. They could definitely buff this guy. Buff this guy, and then buff, I don't know, Hybrid Kaido. Buff Red Big Mom. That'd be crazy. Get all the Rocks Pirates. They buff Shiki. He could get his second buff. But yeah, there's many options. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna get buff like this week or next week. I mean, we definitely could. But I'm thinking probably the next buffs, if they really are gonna start doing more buffs or less buffs, but in less amount of time. I'm thinking early November / end of this month we could see the next buffs already. So we will see.